Hey everybody, my name is Bob Trezise. I'm President and CEO of Lansing Economic Area Partnership, LEAP, which is Ingham, Eaton, and Clinton County's regional economic development agency working to help the private sector create jobs and investment, do some placemaking, create the best workforce in the America. So these are some of the things that LEAP works on behalf of our entire region. I'm very pleased today to be joined by Victoria Meadows, who wears many hats like we do here at LEAP and like you do out there. Victoria is our communications director, our public relations director, importantly, our talent director, Victoria. And this week you and I had a great chance to attend the Governor's Education and Talent Summit, which was very enjoyable. It was right here in downtown Lansing, by the way, and there were hundreds of people there. It was a great show for us. I gave a presentation at one of the sessions. We have an incredible partnership with Capital Area Michigan Works, which is our local workforce development company, and we'll talk more about that relationship in a minute. But Victoria, what were your impressions about this important conference, matching business and education?
Well, I think it was a great opportunity to see that in action, and instead of having two separate conferences that sort of are isolating the economic talent piece and the education in the classroom piece. And so it was great to see educators, business, and other organizations together to solve the issues that we're facing in this region and across the nation. There were some great takeaways. One in particular that I really liked was a few examples of partnerships between business and school districts that are creating products, teaching kids skills, and then actually taking those skills and those products out into the world to make a difference. And that was the bottom line. Get people jobs, but also make a difference in other people's lives, solving real life problems. And then it got me thinking about what can we do, and I think there's a great opportunity for us to maybe extend our expo and connect more with business.
This is our Youth Entrepreneurial Expo.
Yes.
Where every year we bring about 300 students with 200 business ideas together, and they all have prepared business ideas, business plans, a business booth. And we have 24 categories. We give away awards for the best business development plans from our, and of course what we're trying to do is create a robust entrepreneurial spirit within our community, starting right in the middle and high schools.
Right.
So how can we take that event, which is incredible already, what you're suggesting, and add some new ideas from the conference?
Yeah, maybe partnering with businesses to solve issues that they're having, taking these kids and saying, how would you solve this problem as an entrepreneur, and then seeing what they come up with. I think we've talked also about maybe instead of just giving cash prizes so that they can help take their idea forward, that we've talked about scholarships and that will help them really take that idea forward into the future. So there was a lot to be gained from the conference. I think there's an opportunity also to invest in the classroom and make those connections between teachers and business, and I hope we can help do that.
Well, the talent issue is so complicated. I mean, sometimes it's the proverbial nailing Jell-O to the wall. I mean, it's just, the issue itself is everywhere. I mean, because it's all so interrelated. You could talk about nutritional components to a child's life before kindergarten. You can talk about third grade proficiency. You can talk about businesses should be doing more internships and apprenticeships. Wage levels themselves, the most basics in vocational training in schools versus college prep. Is it one versus the other? Can both be done? I mean, it's just a really, really complex issue. So we try to be tangible and touch what we can in a meaningful way. So LEAP, the Lansing Chamber, Capital Area Michigan Works, Edie Hatter-Williams is an incredible director and partner with LEAP. She sits on my executive committee in economic development. I sit on her board of directors at workforce development. Every Monday morning, her staff is here with ours, and we go through 2 hours of projects together. We both use the same software, Salesforce, so that we're communicating all week long together as one sort of unified staff and trying to unite business needs, economic development, and workforce development needs, businesses on this side, bringing them all together. So I think maybe it's the top relationship in the state, I don't know, between workforce development and economic development. But from that sprouted T3. And you are our representative on this T3. Talk about that a little bit.
Sure. I've been meeting on several of the committees. There's a data committee, which I think you're part of, an awareness committee, because some of the issues surrounding these issues and conversations with CTE programs is that there's this perception that those are not viable careers, and that if you
so
go
welding
into
or health industry,
manufacturing,
insurance. I mean, these are
all kinds of things. And the group has I think, chosen to focus on 4 core areas: manufacturing, healthcare, insurance, and
emerging kinds of companies.
Right, emerging technologies.
Right.
So we're trying to build a strategy around that to present to the Business Council, I think in June.
And in the T3, the difference from the way it was before is it's privately, the leadership of the workforce development is the private sector, is CEOs from these variety of companies, those types of businesses in our region, so that they cannot, so that there's not conflict, but working hand in hand with schools and intermediate school districts, workforce development, so there's better communication and partnership between the two. That's what's different about this model versus maybe before it was entirely public sector driven.
Yeah, it could be, and that's not a good solution. We've all got to, we're stronger together.
Right,
so
stronger together.
We need to come together to solve these issues. And one of the major challenges, I think, actually is this lack of awareness and these perceptions that we've attached to things like, well, CTE, a track
vocational training,
is not as fulfilling or reputable as a college education, but they both have value and they're both necessary for certain things.
And yet the schools are being pressured from the state through state laws and administrative rules to focus on the testing and university driven. And I have to say, Victoria, as we said at the beginning and conclude here, is very complex because if you listen to folks like Lou Glazer at Michigan Futures, I mean, there's a lot of evidence that in the future global economy and environment, that the key statistic that indicates a region's future prosperity and wealth is in fact how many 4-year degree persons are living and working in that region.
Right.
So, I mean, schools are torn in two, right? They have that kind of pressure on them to produce that. And yet they have enormous pressures from the business community saying, wait a minute, we need, everyone can't go to college. Everyone doesn't want to go to college. Everyone isn't equipped to go to college. Hopefully everyone has an equal opportunity to go to college. Maybe that's the sweet spot to find and is encouraged. But what we can't do is, if it's not working out, there has to be a second step, right? And I've experienced a variety of these factors with my, I have 4 kids, so I've seen it all. Maybe this is part of the solution, but I think somewhat schools feel torn between the two right now, and we've got to somehow find a solution on that. And then programmatically at an economic development agency like ours, and with Capital Area Michigan Works, we have to be very tangible in selecting what we can really touch and make a difference in that space, and that's what T3 is trying to do. Victoria, thanks a lot for all your work. Sit right here with me, just really quickly, we'll wrap up here. Victoria usually is behind the camera. So the camera is staring at us right at the moment. But I just want to mention real quickly a couple other things. Last night, Thursday night, we were at the 3rd annual Lansing Regional Chamber of Commerce's Magic Johnson dinner. Of course, Irvin Magic Johnson is our home guy here from Lansing. I'm a product of Lansing Public Schools. Irvin's a product of Lansing Public Schools, and a lot of other great people who are contributing to society. And Irvin would be about as good as it gets in that category. He comes back every year to raise a lot of money with Kelly Dean and and the Lansing Promise Group in creating money for full scholarship rides for Lansing kids to go to 2 or 4 year college or universities. And these stories are inspirational. The opportunities that has availed to students from Lansing is incredible. And it was a jam-packed, fun dance, music, great speeches. Magic Johnson was just incredible on such an intimate and personal basis. His words and interaction with the crowd. So thank you to Tim Damon, the Lansing Regional Chamber, Kelly Dean, the Lansing Promise crew. It was absolutely fantastic. And finally, I just want to mention LEAP continues to work with the City of East Lansing on numerous projects. A great project was approved on Trowbridge Road last week in the City of East Lansing for a hotel, which will be a big addition to the region and to the City of East Lansing. The Park District project looks like it's all approved and a go, and that is finally taking down the big bank building on the corner and the one that's been talked about for 15 years and getting downtown East Lansing dressed up. Our project that LEAP has worked on and led is the Center City project, and it received good news at Planning Commission. It was a 4-4 vote, so it does move on to East Lansing City Council for their consideration. I think it's an incredible project. I'll just make this comment. There are a lot of things to continue to think about, but one thing that we have a responsibility to think about is the younger generations. We like the way things are now, and change is really difficult. But our responsibility is to think about the younger generations. We want to make sure that 30 and 40 years out, they say what we say. We love living here, we grew up here, we like it the way it is. We want them to have a chance to say that, and they want different things from our community. And our responsibility is not necessarily to us and trying to keep things the way they are because we like it and we're used to it. But we have to think about our kids and our grandkids and what do they want to see in a community. Our project fulfills their vision for a great community. We'll keep them here rather than them moving to Chicago. And then we progress instead of declining. Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you next week.